All right, welcome back to Two Song Podcast. This is Chris.
And this is Cam.
And this is a show where we try and sort every song ever into one of two categories, either a love song
or a fight song.
That's right. And this is episode 102 of our show.
Wow, yeah. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome, sincerely. And we have an incredible song, I think, I really like it, by an incredible young white rapper. And Cam and I, honestly, were talking about it and didn't really want to be Jack Harlow fans because it's getting to a point where to let another white rapper into our hearts is a little bit suspicious. Like we're only liking white rappers. But, I mean, I know you're this way and I'm this way too. We like other rappers, original rappers. I mean, for the longest time, white rappers were not good. So it was easy not to like them. They just have happened to, maybe in the last 20, 25 years, gotten really good. So that's all it is. It's not, I know we had a lot of white rappers on this show, but this is just a hot song. It's a new song, came out April the 8th. So just a few weeks ago, the time we're recording this.
Yeah.
And it's an awesome song. That's all. And the song's called First Class. It's just a single by itself.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and there's not much of an intro there. Just kind of ambient synthesizer-esque sounds.
Mm-hmm. And he just vocalizes a little bit.
Yeah, gives a yeah or a uh-huh.
Okay. And he does it a lot in this song, and I love it. Like, there's a couple parts later where he like hums the bass line in the beat, and I'm like, oh, dude, because it's so, when the beat bass line's really catchy, it's so tempting to do that. So the fact that he does it, I'm like, oh man, you know this song is fun. That's not fair.
Yeah, I've been playing bass more too, and I find myself like focusing on the bass line and just trying to like find it and hum it along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll do that. Yeah. It's kind of like if someone or you get a car, then you see that car everywhere.
Oh yeah.
You'll see that car later that day going the opposite way on the highway. And but yeah, like when I've played bass in bands, I'll be in a real like bass mindset.
Yeah, it's crazy how our brains work that way. Just to like, I guess, recognize patterns and it's probably based on like, you know, trying to make relevant information more important, like process the important stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's got to be a big part of it. You know what? I'm glad you said that. That's a great segue. One thing I love about this song is it's one of those super catchy pop kind of songs that helps kids like us that grew up with spell check and autocorrect
Right.
know that we've at least got a few like locked in.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not named after its hook. Like this song could be called Glamorous, but one of the other ones I'm thinking of, Holler Girl, is not called Bananas. It's called Holler Girl.
That's a good point.
But then Respect and Independent, you know, those songs where they just like hit, they spell out the word, they are named after their hook. So
Oh yeah.
But Jack Harlow is just different enough and just like new enough to be like, all right, I like the glamorous part, but I also like the first class part. Let's stick with First Class.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and we haven't got to it yet, but it's pretty obviously a sample. But I guess we should hear that before we kind of talk about it. So let's get into it. Let's hear the chorus. It's another one that starts with the chorus.
Yeah, let's do that. Man, tell me that chorus ain't good. Like he's just so smooth in the pocket and laid back compared to some of his other stuff.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar, but he took Fergie's Glamorous, and I feel like, I don't know, he was just jamming out to Fergie or something and was just like, I don't know, vibing with it and ad-libbing, and was like, you know what? I could probably get rights to this.
If you look at the list of songwriters, I think he got rights to it or a license to it, but it's no joke, about a dozen people.
Oh, wow.
Probably because of the sample. It probably took 3 or 4, maybe 5 to make the sample, and then 3 or 4 or 5, plus maybe some of the like voices and ad-libs later. I mean, it's insane, the amount of songwriters.
Yeah, it took a village.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't like pick up on what exactly he was trying to say, you know, emphasizing certain letters. It helps to like see it written out a little bit. And we're still not sure about throwing up the L. I don't know if we're just out on the lingo.
Yeah.
Or if he's like, you know, referencing his hometown or something, or what that is. Because I thought that he was talking about sex in the A, which was in Atlanta, just because we're pretty close to Atlanta. But he's saying AM, which was probably obvious to some of y'all.
Yeah, you said that to me, and I was like, well, I heard AM, but he does he hits the A a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you might be onto something about the L, because he's from Kentucky. So maybe, is he from Louisville, perhaps?
Ooh. I don't know, chances are probably pretty high if he's from Kentucky.
I took it to mean at first, like, calling someone a loser, but it could be that too. It could very well be that.
Yeah. He just seems kind of like proud about it to have it as a chorus in his songs, which made me think it was something like that.
Mm-hmm. And because it like complements the I've been a G, so it'd be to me it's totally switching up to being like an homage to Smash Mouth, you know, like L on her forehead, like I've been a G, call people losers. I don't know. So yeah, I think you're right. I think you're onto something.
And he's kind of, I can't exactly remember how First Class is used in Glamorous, that is being sampled. I think just like as a synonym for Glamorous, probably. But it's kind of cool. He's shifted that to just be like, I can send you here or anywhere, put you in first class.
Yeah.
Because I've made it.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty good brag, honestly. And in the hookup culture and the idea of being famous and flying in companionship anywhere in the world, like the NBA had a really hard time with that when they were all in the bubble, no chance of exposure to coronavirus whatsoever, but the more rich, more famous, more carefree players were breaking the rules left and right, apparently. And this is kind of cool to be like, well, if we're DMing and you want to fly out to a show, don't worry about it because you can fly first class. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that make it a little bit more worth it?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Like you said, yeah, I can put you in first class because I made it.
Yeah. Yeah, which he kind of gets into a little bit more. His recent success, it seems.
Yeah. Because he hasn't really been, I know he's been working for a while, years now, but he hasn't really been on the scene for very long. Like I can think of What's Poppin' was maybe, I'm trying to think, like 2 years, 3 years ago.
Wow.
Because like his original version was a big hit, and then there's another version that had a bunch of features on it. So yeah, he's fairly new, I would say. He does have a tiny desk set though, which is awesome.
Wow. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, it's really good. And it's one of the tiny desk sets from home, so the production value is pretty good. Like it's more than just standing behind the desk.
Yeah,
And
some people did some really cool stuff.
Yeah,
for theirs.
And his is really cool.
Nice.
Well, we're talking about his success and alluding to other things in the song. Should we move on to the verse?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Man. I love how he takes a second before that verse really fires up.
Yeah.
Like there's that lull in the music, and then he kind of like has that like sad first line, like that kind of melancholy start, like almost like it's gonna be like lo-fi or chill rap.
Yeah.
And then he just has his regular like smooth, a little bit code switching. To be honest with you, like sometimes his accent to me makes me go whoa, but that's for him to worry about. So far no one has a problem with it. And it's just so smooth and so nice, and he's fast. He's one of the fast rappers that's also witty. Probably why I love him.
Yeah. And that's another pretty cool brag. Just see the whole city from this balcony.
That is cool.
And, it kind of sets a scene.
It does set a scene. You have to be like, because I think he's doing two things at once, saying, back in 2019, I was outside freely, meaning like one, before lockdowns and before everything got hard, and also a little bit of anonymity.
Yeah.
I was not being mobbed everywhere I went. I was not like fans asking for a pic, asking for an autograph, whatever. Not able to go like get coffee or go eat somewhere because everybody wants to talk to me, which I think is so cool. But the way he delivers it is so sad. Back in 2019, I was outside freely. and then but now they got it out for me.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy to think, like, most places, especially if you take the right safety precautions, you can move and be out and about, but they got it out for me. Like, you know, I have haters and I have fans everywhere I go. Just a neat couple of lines.
Yeah, and saying a lot with those 2 lines.
Yeah, he really is. And another thing is so cool, like, he's kind of setting that scene and giving us a little bit of back history, like,
Yeah.
giving us the plot with exposition. But I really like the way he sets, like, the summary kind of scene, because he talks about pineapple juice, and then he talks about, I guess it's like a joke about a great white shark and how they like to eat seamen. Which is cool. It's a great white shark joke from a great white rapper. That's the kind of stuff I love in a song.
Wow.
Or sea women, you know, whatever. But it's like a whole beachy kind of theme. Is that what he's talking about? That's what I took it to mean.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah. It really but all seriousness, the delivery of that is too much, gratuitous.
Yeah.
Like sweet, like, dude, say it. Especially because the first time I heard it, I went, oh. And then I re-listened to the song and I was like, just say it, guy. Don't, you know.
Yeah, because it's like the other voice that says it, I think. I think it's a female voice.
Yeah, it is either a different voice or he totally changed his voice for that delivery.
Yeah. I like your take on it better, though.
Oh, nice.
Go with
that. But I also really love the fact, it's so funny because he talks about just kind of like a little bit gross and crass things, and then he's like, yo, everybody's investing in stupid designer stuff, trying to look rich. A better investment would be Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, are you saying this in a mirror at least? Hopefully.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, so I didn't assume that's what it was. I didn't really recognize Givenchy.
It's a French designer. You would probably recognize it if you saw their logo.
Cool.
Man, I think it's a smart verse. It's cool because it's like we were saying before, laid back. He just like starts it like, I can see the whole city from this balcony. And then he starts like really going in on whoever is the object of that verse.
Yeah.
Like, I have a hard drive of heat seeking, like, you need Jesus. Like all these things he says is just kind of being like, oh wow, all right, I get it.
Yeah. I really like the why do y'all sleep on me? I need reasons line.
Yeah.
Again, it's, I think, a lot about his delivery of it.
Yeah, I think so too. Honestly, because we talked about this in the past, and I think the example we used was the Lonely Island. Like, they're clowns and they're goofy, but also they're comedians. They don't need to rap. They don't need to make music. But that doesn't change the fact that sometimes when they say lyrics, you can't help but grin because you're like, dang, I love the way he says that. Like, that delivery is just nice.
Yeah. It's a great point.
Well, thank you. But it's a great point. I mean, just going off of what you said, this is his delivery. Like, why y'all sleeping on me? I need reasons.
Yeah. And then he mentions, you know, some of the frontline workers.
That's, oh man.
You know, our delivery, our package delivery heroes.
Yeah. I honestly, because he does say, shout out to my UPS workers. I didn't think of that at first.
Yeah.
I thought he was a little bit ripping off the Mitch Hedberg joke. My FedEx driver is a drug dealer and he don't even know it. But he's talking about like people sending him like the various awards that he gets.
Right.
But yeah, shout out to my UPS workers, making sure I receive them. That is almost being like, you guys are doing like noble work.
Yeah, he's really lifting them up.
Yeah.
And kind of everyone too, I guess, 'cause he's encouraging everyone and letting them know that they could also work for UPS if they wanted to.
The way those two are read together, it does sound like that.
Yeah.
You two could be making sure I get my plaques.
Yeah.
I think it's just quick editing to be like, you two can get plaques. He just wanted he needed to like fit it in there.
Yeah.
Like.
You can do what he's doing too if you want to, or you could bring his plaques.
Yeah. Whatever your hustle is, for real. Dang.
Yeah, and then we get another chorus.
Yeah, just a single chorus this time.
Oh yeah, the first one he started with a double chorus.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, let's hear that.
Man. He did that thing where he hits the on the bass line.
Yeah, it was very smooth.
It is smooth.
And I'm glad you mentioned lo-fi earlier, because it is like he took like a pop song that was like a sign of its time, and holds up pretty well, but he sampled it to make it like more relevant to 2022.
Yeah, and added like some little embellishments, and like thinned out parts of it, like totally hollowed it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dang, I just can't get over the fact that it's like 2 hooks. I mean, I know it's a sample, but it's just awesome to like. I don't know. It's almost like you said earlier, like playing a song and like singing along to it, but adding stuff to like poke fun at it. Not poke fun at it, but just make more fun than the song was originally designed to make.
Right.
Which a lot of people do. And it's also like kind of a good mental exercise, I think, to see if you can like ad lib a song. So that, like, I've been a G, throw up the L, that part's an awesome hook. But then, in a way, the first class Up in the Sky is another hook.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's part of why I like this song so much, is it's so catchy. There's, like, some really nice, like, clean bars, and he delivers them well. The album has a parental advisory sticker, and this is one way you can tell that people are proud of that now. It used to be, like, you had to put it off in the corner, or people chose to put it off in the corner to kind of say, we got to put this on here, but we designed the album art without it. Make sure it's on there. But his is like right in the center, being like, this is what you came for.
Yeah.
The explicit stuff.
Yeah, he's like sitting right on top of it.
Yeah. But it's not that dirty of a song. We've certainly played dirtier songs on here.
Yeah, very true.
Dang. Well, how about this second verse? Pretty simple song. I mean, it's mostly choruses and then 2 like kind of long, flowy verses.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's hear verse 2.
All right. Man,
Yeah, that's a fun one.
that is a fun one. It's got kind of the classic trope from rappers that made it, being like, and I gotta take care of my mom. I gotta buy my mom a house. So spoil her in some kind of way.
Yeah, and he mentions family twice, because before that he talks about like the downside of making it and grinding or whatever is that he doesn't see as much of his family.
Yeah. It's cool though, because he talks about making sure they never downsize, and I wonder if he's kind of saying like making sure nothing happens to you in my family. But it's also cool to be like, because sometimes people think of like downsizing as in selling their house and getting a smaller house.
Yeah.
But then later in the verse, his mom does the opposite of that. Like his mom gets a house.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of it being, kind of alluding to like not, hoping to not lose and like, lose any of the family, make the family smaller at all. Like I was just thinking of like making sure they never have to like, give anything up to like, pay the bills or something.
Well, that very well could be reading too much into it. It could just be that. Because
I like it though.
Well, thanks. It needed to be there, I think, because this lifestyle got many downsides and downsides. Like those are pretty close, so you may as well use that as a rhyme.
Yeah, cool. And there's before that all of the I ams, and I'm always a little torn about like rhyming just with the same word. And it can be done well, and it definitely sounds good.
It does.
So no serious complaints here, but I'm just always a little like, I mean, there's so many words, man. You don't have to use the same ones 4 times in a row.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that actually. In one of them, it sounds like he says I am, and the sample is going at the same time, just a little bit quieter. I'm a little distracted by that every time I hear it. I'm like, wait, is there supposed to be 2? I don't know. We listened to it through headphones, but I'm sure whoever mixed it listened to it through headphones a million times, so
Yeah.
it's got to be there on purpose. But it is a little distracting. You're like, did I just hear two people at the same time?
Yeah. And then there's a part that's kind of confusing to me, because he says, like, go ahead and get undressed. I am. And then, oh, are you on Sunset? And then someone else over that kind of different sounding voice says, I am. So, it's pretty obvious he's, like, meeting up with someone and getting undressed for it. But the way it plays out, it sounds like he's getting undressed and then going to Sunset.
Yeah.
So I'm picturing him, like, driving down Sunset Boulevard, I presume, without clothes on.
Yeah, no. It's like, whoa, I hope the windows are tinted or you have something lifted. Maybe both, because it's like, dude, yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, what? You're undressed first? Don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that.
Yeah, and then I guess the kind of obvious implication is that, like, the person he's going to see is undressed and waiting for him, but why wouldn't the other voice have said
First I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. I thought that.
Yeah, and maybe he just wanted people to think about him driving down Sunset without clothes on. I don't know.
It could be. I mean, he's a little bit of a wild boy, but that's pushing it, I think.
Yeah, that's, like, illegal.
Yeah.
Probably out there.
I think so. I think if people can see, what you're usually covering up when you have clothes on, then, and you know that they're going to see it, I think that is illegal. And I think it is a decent exposure.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird to me that the verse is, like, kind of naughty and, like, about this rendezvous, and then also the second half is all about family. It's all sappy and sentimental.
That's a good point. Didn't really thought about that.
I don't know, it's weird. But in a way, the first verse is that too, just the opposite. Like, the first verse is really sappy and sentimental, and then, like, really building himself up, if it's autobiographical.
Yeah. Yeah, the verses do seem to be, like, split and kind of have some sort of contrast that maybe he did very, very purposefully.
I know. I wonder if at one point it was 4 verses, and then it got too repetitive, like the chorus got to be too much. So that's why we have bookend about double choruses. I just don't know. I like the song the way it is. I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah. I'm glad it's cool that you said bookended too, because that's a cool way to picture it. It makes the whole structure of the song, like, very symmetrical.
Yeah.
Which I like.
Me too. Dang. We don't really get a bridge in this song. We don't really get a break. I mean, it's just, like, always something fun to listen to.
Yeah, that's true.
So we could go ahead and play this last double chorus if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, there's also just a really quick, kind of even smaller bookend of, like, the ambient intro that's just, like, 3 seconds long, and then the like, really swirly, like, dreamlike outro.
Yeah, no. I love the way the outro sounds, but you're right. It's almost like not enough of it. It's, like, so quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you said this was a single, so it's not like that's, like, leading into something else.
Yeah, at least not yet. It ought to. I mean, if it's going to be on an album, it would be perfect to, like, go into something else.
Yeah, I guess it certainly could.
Yeah, because, I mean, there's no way to know. Because he hasn't released a ton, which is probably part of the reason I like him. Because it's like, oh man, he just came out with a great first album and a couple of really good hit singles. Also, I just like him. Like, I don't know, he just doesn't fit your typical look of even, like, a pop star or a white rapper. Like, for the most part, aren't they usually kind of like they're either a pretty boy or a little bit of a bro, and he's honestly just like because Kentucky has a weird identity. I think most people in the country consider it Southern, but I don't really know that it always considers itself Southern. So he's, like, partly Southern, like, kind of a drawl sometimes, and then partly, like, a little bit of, like, a smooth R&B guy kind of accent.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't look like, if he wore different clothes, like not nice clothes, and you just put him in a lineup, I don't know that you'd be like, oh, I think that guy's a rapper,
Yeah, that's true.
But it's cool. I mean, I think that's so neat that he's as good as he is.
Yeah. Just making regular white guys feel good. all
Yeah.
over the place.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because like he said, you could do it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
I do like that a lot.
Yeah.
It's just encouraging.
Yeah. And it's just nice to dream and have hopes because I mean, the average person couldn't. Like he's really good, I think.
Mm.
And you could make music and make songs and make raps, but I don't know that. I don't know. I know that you have a tiny desk set in a few years. The
Right.
average person.
Yeah, I couldn't.
I couldn't either.
Yeah.
Oh well. Well, I went first last time. Do you feel like going first this time?
Yeah, I can do that.
Alright.
Just gonna take a sip as I stall and collect my thoughts.
Did you like that Liquid Death?
Yes, I do.
Yes, very good. I was worried you weren't gonna be into it.
This is great water. I do like the imagery a lot too. It's very scary. And
Yeah.
Awesome. Murder your thirst. Give us money. All right. So this is an interesting one because he, seems to be meeting up with someone for a hookup or something similar in the second verse, but it's also very like self-focused and kind of like hyping himself up for his accomplishments and his come up, and then like mentioning his family and that they're important, that he like doesn't see them enough anymore. And then there's a lot of flexing, obviously. And then as far as the sound goes, there's nothing very driving happening or particularly rhythmic. I meant to mention earlier, I noticed it primarily in the second verse, the like rim shot beat that just kind of fits in with this like smooth R&B sound that he's doing. It certainly doesn't like sound like a ballad because it's not like sweet or soft in my opinion, but it is very low energy. And the fact that it's kind of like encouraging other people to, do what they want or like make something of themselves, and talking about like, being sweet to his mom and all. And I think because of the lack of energy in the beat and the instrumentation, I have to go love song.
Cool. Wow. Yeah, I mean that's reason enough. Like sometimes to be like, well, it's not a fight song, therefore.
Yeah.
Nice. I think actually the choruses where it's like spelling out glamorous
Mm-hmm.
and the sample is like spelling out and he gets the and like encourages like the second half of the word to be spelled out, and then the way he's telling this person, or maybe multiple people or whoever will take him up on the offer, I can put you in first class. I think that part is kind of like a sexy love song, like a lust song, like people.
Oh yeah.
A lot of musicians can pull this off, like The Weeknd, I guess is the first one that comes to mind. Like a love song from The Weeknd is like dirtier and grittier than like early rap that was like about doing like crimes and like being hanging out with the boys and doing wild hood rat stuff. It's like, how's this a love song? But the whole vibe of it, I think, makes it a love song. And this chorus, like, to me, has a little bit of that. And then the way that the verses usually start with like a pause, like a rest. Like the first verse, like we mentioned earlier, that big like abrupt stop, and then I can see the whole city from his balcony. And then he like takes a breath and then he starts really on that verse. And the same thing on the second verse, like, are you ready? Yes, I am. Like, it's a little bit gentle. There is flexing, and for a young rapper that got famous quick, like almost overnight with one hit, it is like there's gonna be flexing, and that's also kind of his style. I think people like that about him. I think he wears it well, and I think he just like, to a lot of people, like you said, you know, average looking white guys, they kind of see themselves in him, and also they just like they want to root for him. It's just fun, I suppose, to root for him.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be that, and there's gonna be a little bit of, you know, I got haters, I'm winning awards, like you can do it too, that kind of thing. But I don't think overall that it, to me, tilts it toward like being too braggadocious, being too angry, being too aggressive. There's almost none of that, really, anger or aggression.
Yeah.
So I think, like, all things considered, it's a love song for me too.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, your analysis and breakdown kind of made me think of even the braggy parts are kind of like so positive, and like you said, you just kind of want to cheer for him, that like it's almost like a love song to his success and like his work, and
Yeah.
especially since he's, you know, telling other people like, you just gotta do it.
Wow, yeah. No, that's a good reading on it, for real.
And he seems like very pleased with himself and where he's at, so just like a self-love song. This is where I'm at and I love it.
Yeah. And yeah, going back to the hook, it's like, I can put you in first class, but the title of the song is First Class. So like, to me, there's like lots of ways you could read that. Like, we think of first class a lot of times as being like a luxury thing, or like pampering yourself, or if you're rich, you do it, but first class is just nice. Like, first class is like a marketing thing picked by modes of transportation, because everybody should know what first class means. Like, just being like a class act. That's what I'm trying to say. You know how people will call someone a class act? Like, first class is the same idea. It's just that now we think of people that wear suits on Delta sitting where we can't sit. Like, why are you wearing a suit on an airplane?
Yeah. Also just classy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Nice. Dang, dude, what a song. I really like First Class. I mean, I'm excited to hear what else he comes out with.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll do some cool stuff.
Yeah. Nice. Well, let us know. I'm sure Jack Harlow has fans everywhere. So comment below if we nailed this one or if we were way off. We'd love to hear, you know?
Yeah, seriously. And, you know, if you just like know cool stuff about him, and like if he is from Louisville or whatever, we'd love to hear that too. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
And Chris, thanks for picking this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one. It's pretty fun.
Of course. Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank y'all. We'll talk to y'all next week.